Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Aromacia virtual class this evening. My name is Betsy Miller. I'm one of the aromatherapists, the aromatherapy educators with Aromacia. We also have my good friend and fellow aromatherapist, Elena, on. She's going to be managing the chat box this evening because it's a little difficult for me to try to read the chat while I'm teaching. So any questions that you have, please feel free to type them in the chat box. We'll also have some time at the end for Q&A. That both Elena and I will be able to field those questions. So if we happen to miss your question, please be sure to ask it again. We want to make sure everyone's questions get answered because we love talking about essential oils and aromatherapy and all things plants. So again, my name is Betsy Miller. I am an aromatherapist and clinical herbalist. I live in the Northern Virginia area. I've been with Aromacia for about 7 years now as an aromatherapy educator. And a little bit about Aromacia. We are part of Frontier Co-op. So I like to say that, Frontier is kind of like our mothership. And under Frontier, we have Aromacia, we have Simply Organic, and they do the simmer sauces and the vanilla extracts. And then we have Plant Boss, which is new to our Frontier family. So that's a little bit about Frontier. Frontier is based in Iowa. So this evening, we are going to make some products for my personal favorite holiday of the year, Halloween. The second the weather starts to turn outside, when we start to get some of these crisp mornings and the leaves start to change, I'm so filled with excitement for everything fall. Delicata squash, I love squash, pumpkins and Halloween. And I just, my husband jokes when I say I can't wait to wear my witch clothes. He likes to say well, what's different? Because I like dressing like this all the time. We go to the Renaissance Festival in Maryland, which is one of the the biggest Renaissance festivals in the country, and it's just so much fun. So when we decided to do this class, when we planned this class, I just I told Elena, I was like, dibs, I want to do this class because it just fills me with so much joy to do Halloween stuff. So what we're going to be making tonight is a Sleepy Hollow Mist. We're going to be doing a caramel apple sugar scrub, and I'm saving the best for last, which is a cauldron bubble fizzy bath potion. So I'll walk you through all 3 recipes. I'll talk a little bit about the aroma blends and what you can expect when you make these in terms of how they're going to smell, how they might feel, and we'll leave time at the end for Q&A. So our first recipe is the Sleepy Hollow Enchantment Mist, and this recipe features lavender essential oil, balsam fir needle essential oil, and copaiba essential oil. And what I love about the blend of these 3 oils is that it creates almost like the feeling of especially with the balsam fir, but then kind of the undertones of the herbal undertones of lavender and copaiba is almost like walking through a forest at night. And that's why we're calling it the Sleepy Hollow Enchantment Mist. So you can imagine as you're spraying it, the mist on Halloween night starting to roll into the clearing as you're walking through the woods, and you never know what you're going to see out there, right? So I also like using mists like this on Halloween. I have a 4-year-old who is really into all things Halloween and skeletons, and but he's also a little afraid of everything. He keeps asking, well, are the monsters real? Are they going to come into my house? So we've been talking about making a monster repellent for Halloween, so that when we're out trick-or-treating, if he feels scared, we're actually going to take this Sleepy Hollow Enchantment Mist. And I told him that Witchy Mommy made him a special potion that's going to help keep him safe on Halloween. So that's another way we're going to use this. But if you have trick-or-treaters coming, you can create the ambiance around your space with the aroma to kind of create this feeling of exotic otherworldliness with the mist. I also like to diffuse when I have trick-or-treaters coming. And if you have a diffuser that has lights on it and it's dark outside, it kind of creates this eerie, misty appearance at your front door. So there's just so much fun stuff you can do with Halloween. Okay. So this is a very easy recipe to make. I've already put my 2 ounces of water in here. It doesn't have to be exactly 2 ounces. What I like to do when I'm filling this up is I fill the little mist bottle to just right above the label sticker there. So that's the perfect amount of water. And then we are going to do 8 drops of each essential oil. So let's start with lavender. Most people are familiar with lavender. I mean, it's just such a classic aroma. One of my teachers like to call it the gateway essential oil, right? It's the essential oil that pretty much everybody knows, whether or not you're even into essential oils. But it's just so peaceful and happy. So we're going to do 8 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. That is our lavender essential oil. I will say with this mist, this is intended for use in the airspace. It's not intended for use on, you could use it on your clothes, but it's not intended for use on directly on the skin, because we're not adding anything like a carrier oil or vegetable glycerin into this. You don't want to spray it directly on your skin, because you never want direct contact between essential oils and your skin. They are incredibly powerful. They are more than just beautifully smelling plant aromas, right? They are highly concentrated extracts. So if this is something, if you really like the blend and you want to use it as a mist and want to be able to get it on your skin, all you would need to do is add 1 teaspoon of your favorite carrier oil, like sweet almond or jojoba, which we'll learn about tonight, or a teaspoon of vegetable glycerin, and that will bind to the essential oils and make it safe to apply to the skin. So this is meant for airspace or Halloween costumes or on your clothing, not directly on the skin. So next we're going to do balsam fir. I just love anything that's like evergreen aromas, especially this time of year. I start diffusing like juniper and pine along with my my citrus and spices, because it really I don't get out hiking as much as I used to. I went to UVM. And yeah, so we've got Rita saying balsam fir is her favorite. It's so like, just, oh, great. And that feeling of when you're walking through the woods, and sometimes every once in a while, I get this in my urban, suburban Northern Virginia lifestyle. There's a big grove of pine trees down from, down the road from my house in our neighborhood. And right now, a lot of the needles are falling. And when I go for my runs or I'm taking my kids out in the stroller, I deliberately go past there so I can, crunch through the pine needles and get that release of volatile oils from the pine needles, and really make me feel like I am immersed in the woods, like in the deep, deep woods right here in suburbia. And that's kind of how I feel when I smell anything evergreen, anything like pine, juniper, balsam fir, cypress. It just really makes me feel like I'm walking through the woods. So we're going to do 8 drops of balsam fir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you'll notice as I'm putting the essential oils into the bottle, I'm not shaking the essential oil bottle to get them out. I'm not, forcing the drops out. Gravity does all the work for us. So we have these, or it's called an orifice reducer, the blue cap that's underneath the primary cap, and that allows the drops to come out 1 drop at a time. Some essential oils are a little bit more viscous, meaning they're thicker, and you have to have a little more patience getting those out. Lavender and balsam fir both came out very quickly. So if they're coming out too fast, you can hold the bottle at like a 45-degree angle like that, and that'll slow down the drip. If they're super viscous, you hold it directly upside down, and that gravity will prompt it to come out faster. And then copaiba. This is just, I'm sorry, sweet marjoram. Oops. I am mixing my recipes this evening. Where did my sweet marjoram go? Okay, sweet marjoram. The sweet marjoram, instead of copaiba is for our our caramel apple scrub. Oh, the sweet marjoram. It's very almost like a delicate oregano aroma, and it complements the lavender and the balsam fir so well because it grounds them. So the lavender is a middle floral note. The balsam fir, even though it's a pine, it tends to be more of a middle to base in some ways. But the sweet marjoram really grounds those two together. So 8 drops of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. And that's how we make our Sleepy Hollow enchantment mist. So we're going to put our cap back on and give it a good shake. So when you're adding essential oils to water, they're never going to mix, right? They are chemically incapable of dissolving in water. So that just means every time you want to spray this, you just need to give it a good shake to get it as mixed up as possible. And then it'll take a couple of pumps for it to come up into the mist bottle. And then, oh, that's just like, I wish I had smell-o-vision, like in Wonka when they, had the like taste-o-vision or whatever it was in Wonka. I wish I had smell-o-vision and you guys could smell this. It's so nice. And it definitely has that like, you know, just deep wood stillness almost feel to it. So that is our Sleepy Hollow Enchantment Mist. Next, we are going to make our caramel apple sugar scrub. So this uses brown sugar. I've already put that in my 4-ounce amber glass jar. So I'll just, you can see a little bit of the brown sugar there. And if you don't have brown sugar, that's totally fine. You can use, you know, cane sugar. You just want something with a little bit of a coarse grind to it, as opposed to like white table sugar that tends to be just very fine. You get more of like a good scrub action when the grain is a little bit more coarse. If you don't have brown sugar and you use regular table sugar, my recommendation is to add a few drops of vanilla in jojoba. So we have our vanilla in jojoba, which is the vanilla absolute diluted in jojoba essential oil. You could even just do, you know, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract in this recipe. And the vanilla like rounds out that caramel smell. And the brown sugar almost has that vanilla aroma to it, which is why I didn't include it in the recipe tonight to add additional vanilla. But if you're not using brown sugar, I do recommend adding a little bit of vanilla to kind of like round out that caramel aroma. So for this recipe, we are using a blend of copaiba, bergamot, tangerine, and clove. And the blend of the more herbal and spicy copaiba and clove with the citrusy bergamot and tangerine creates that like crisp, I just bit into an apple type of sweet, fruity aroma. And then again, the vanilla-y nature of the brown sugar or vanilla extract, if you add that, makes it seem like that smooth, gooey caramel feel. So we have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in our jar, and we're going to add 2 ounces of sweet almond oil. I picked sweet almond oil for this evening because with a sugar scrub, you know, we're going to be scrubbing this on our skin to exfoliate and then rinsing it off in the bath or the shower. So sweet almond oil is a great, just all-purpose carrier oil. It's very well tolerated by most skin types. It's not super comedogenic, meaning it's not likely to clog pores. I don't tend to use sweet almond on my face because my face, I have oily to medium skin. So like I use the delicate carrier oils on my face, like rosehip. But for whole body application, especially as we enter winter and our skin tends to be a little bit more just dry, you know, naturally, sweet almond is fantastic for these whole body applications. But if you have a favorite carrier oil that you'd rather use instead of sweet almond, go for it. You can use jojoba, you can use even sesame, even though it has a stronger aroma, it's great for winter skin. But tonight we're doing sweet almond, and we are going to do about 2 ounces. So that's half of this bottle. So I'm just taking the squeeze lid off so I can just pour half of this bottle directly into my little jar here. Great. And then we're going to do 4 drops of copaiba. If you've never smelled this one, it almost smells a little bit like a more herbal version of tea tree. So let's see, you can see the drops here are more resinous, so they're taking another minute to come out, but I can see the bubbles going in there. There we go. 1, 2, 3. You can do it, essential oil. 4. There we go. 3 drops of bergamot. Bergamot to me is just like, it makes me think of if lavender and sweet orange had a magical little baby. That's bergamot. That's what it smells like to me. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 drops of tangerine, which anything citrus just makes me smile. Like I can't not smile when I smell it. I love tangerine. My other favorite thing to do with tangerine is actually put several drops in the bottom of my trash can as like a deodorizer. I just put it directly in the bottom of the plastic trash can because it's such an uplifting, cheering scent. 3 drops of tangerine. And last but not least, 3 drops of clove essential oil, clove bud. All right. One of my favorite things to do with clove bud this time of year, if you put out decorations like, you know, in the fall, like pine cones, or you make your own potpourri, I love just putting a few drops of clove or cassia cinnamon or cinnamon leaf or fresh ginger, you know, or a combination of all of those directly on my fall decorations, because it just adds so much like amazing aroma and really helps bring, you know, the fall feeling into my airspace. Okay. Once you've got all your ingredients in there, you're going to cap the jar and you give it a good shake. Make sure everything is mixed up in there really well. And then let's give it a smell. It really smells like a caramel apple in this jar. Like, I just love how the essential oils come together. It smells like a dessert. I mean, don't eat it. We don't ingest essential oils. It totally smells like something I have to remind myself I'm not supposed to eat this. That's so good. So to use this, what you're going to do is you just take it in the bath or the shower with you and you use it to exfoliate. I don't recommend using this on your face because it does have the clove essential oil in it, and that can be very sensitizing or irritating around the eyes. So neck down, I will probably use this like after, you know, shaving my legs or something like that. Yes, the clove bud. I'll use this like after shaving my legs or, you know, having a really good long soak. I'll scrub this in to exfoliate and then you rinse it off. And the combination of the exfoliating brown sugar with the nourishing almond oil just leaves your skin feeling so silky smooth. It's amazing. So that is our candy apple or caramel apple sugar scrub. I have candy on the mind. I've already been thinking about what I need to get this weekend to pass out to trick-or-treaters. Okay, I saved the best for last. This is our cauldron bubble fizzy bath. And I cannot wait to do this with my son. He loves the Acacia Kids line fizzy baths, the bedtime and the clearing. We use those ones a lot for him. And he just loves anything that just like fizzes and bubbles. So when he sees this and sees how green it is, he's just gonna go nuts. So to make this, we have all of our fun, witchy ingredients. We are going to use baking soda. We are going to use eye of newt. And by eye of newt, I mean actually citric acid. We are going to use green mica powder. This part is totally optional. This just gives it that like potion-y, witchy color to it. I got this off of Amazon. It's Eye Candy brand green tea, just because I thought it looked like the most potion-like of all of the mica powders that I saw on there. I like using mica in my products. When I make like body oils, I'll put a little bit of gold mica in there to give it like a sun-kissed shimmer, or silver mica if I'm making like a fairy body oil or something like that. So this was a lot of fun for me to find this green one to make a bath potion. We're going to use jojoba oil. One of the things that I love most about jojoba is that it's not actually a carrier oil, it's a liquid wax. So it essentially has an indefinite shelf life. It doesn't go bad in 1 to 3 years the way other carrier oils do. It is also incredibly well tolerated, and it most resembles the sebum produced by our own skin. So it is least likely to clog pores. That being said, you know, this isn't a product for the face, but jojoba is one of my favorite face oils. And then the aroma combination is the just uplifting and cheering sweet orange and the super like resinous, exotic, earthy patchouli. So when I think of like what essential oils would witches use in their potion, like the resinous, earthy essential oils are the ones that I gravitate towards. So like patchouli or vetiver or sandalwood, myrrh, all of those just, you know, like just exotic resins. So I just love how the combination of patchouli and sweet orange go together. So that is our aroma profile. So what we're going to do for this one. And then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when we add it to water. We're going to do 3/4 of a cup of baking soda. 1, 2, and 3. And then I am going to add in about 2 teaspoons of the green mica powder. And again, this is totally optional. It just is a fun, really nice touch. You can add as little or as much as you want, but I was quite happy with the color that 2 teaspoons produced. So 2 teaspoons. And our essential oils. So we are going to do 18 drops of sweet orange and 6 drops of patchouli. We do much less patchouli than sweet orange because as a really heavy base note, it would completely take over the blend and you wouldn't smell any sweet orange if you did more than that. Sweet orange. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 18. And 6 drops of patchouli. And you'll see how resinous this is coming out. It is thick. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. And I'll try to get a good angle for you guys to see this once I've got it all mixed together, but you'll see it when I put it in our bath. Then I'm gonna just mix it together. You will notice that some of the baking soda, especially since we've added essential oils to it, will clump a little bit, and that's totally fine. It does not have to be like perfectly integrated, perfectly well mixed. So we're just gonna get as much blended together here as we can. I like using a fork when I'm mixing because it does more of like almost a tilling the earth kind of action as opposed to a spoon. All right. It's such a pretty color. I can't wait to show you all. Oh, and the smell is just so nice. All right, then we are going to add in our eye of newt, AKA our citric acid, 1/4 cup of citric acid. And we are going to add in 1 teaspoon of jojoba oil. Okay. We're going to give it a good stir. Again, you're going to notice some clumping, totally fine. Just stir it as well as you can. I recommend starting with about 1/4 cup per bath of this. So this makes a decent amount. You don't want to pour all of this in the bath or else you're going to have like a super fizzy potion-y bath experience. But what you can do is store the rest of it in like a mason jar or any type of glass container. I always prefer glass whenever possible. And just store it in an airtight container, not in the bathroom, because when you store things like this in the bathroom, if they get any humidity, even in the airtight container, it will definitely clump. And then you can use it for future baths. All right. So you guys can see that awesome color. We're going to see what happens when we add it to water. All right. Here is our cauldron for tonight. We're going to say our spell. We're going to say double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn, and cauldron bubble. Ah! How cool is that? I love it. Oh my God, it's fizzing so much. It just makes me so happy. What happens if we add more? Let's find out. It's fizzing again. Oh, such a fun potion. Honestly, you could even use this with trick-or-treaters. If they're coming to the door, just do a potion demo and they're really going to think you're a witch. So it's just, I cannot wait to do this with my 4-year-old. He is going to love it. He's going to go just absolutely bonkers over this. So those are our 3 Halloween themed recipes for you this evening. We're going to go ahead and open it up to questions in just a second. And then our next class is going to be coming up in November 17th with Elena. We are going to be learning about how to make holiday gifts. So we wanted to do that one in November ahead of the traditional gift giving month of December. So you have enough time once you learn how to make them to get your ingredients, to make everything, and be able to share the holiday gift of aromatherapy. So again, my name is Betsy. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we have plenty of time for some questions this evening. So the question is, I think, what do I do with the cauldron? What do I do? What do I do with the fizzy bath? So this you'd actually just pour in the bath while you're in the bathtub, just for a fun aromatherapy fizzy bath experience. If you want to omit the green mica and just have the fizzy bath experience, go for it. For this, since it's in here, I'm probably just going to pour it down the sink. The citric acid and the baking soda will probably be good for scrubbing the pipes. But normally I'm just adding fizzy bath to my bathtub for an aromatherapy experience. Let's see if I can open the Q&A, because it looks like we've got one question in the Q&A section. Okay. Oh, the name of the powder is eye candy green tea. Let me close that so you guys can see. Okay, eye candy green tea powder. Okay, so it looks like Elena is answering the question about, is the enchanted mist dog friendly? So in general, dogs do tend to tolerate essential oils very well. Obviously, you don't want to spray it directly on the animal. Cats do not tolerate essential oils very well, so I don't recommend diffusing or spraying a mist in the immediate vicinity of a cat. But my general rule of thumb for pets is if they can get away from the aroma, then it's fine to use it. So they can leave the room if they need a break. If they are in a confined space, I don't think it's ethical to diffuse or spray essential oils because they really can't tell you that they need a break. So that's my recommendation. But the enchanted mist, there's nothing in there that's overtly harmful to dogs. I just don't recommend spraying it on them because they can't tell us, hey, this isn't okay with me. Laura asked, can you tell me more about copaiba? Yeah, so let's see, where is it? Copaiba. It's extracted from the bark of the copaiba tree in Brazil, and it's very similar to, let me close the chat so I can actually see what's going on here. It's very similar to tea tree and how we use it. In my opinion, it smells a little less, it smells so much better than tea tree. I think it smells a little less antiseptic than tea tree. Tea tree to me just smells like, I don't like tea tree. And I will say that, like, my name is Betsy, I'm an aromatherapist and I don't like tea tree. Copaiba to me smells much more like soft and herbal, but we use it in all the same ways that we would think about using tea tree. So we say, purifying because it's super cleansing, and we can use it in, like homemade cleaning products. We can use it in diffusions during, the winter and fall when, cooties tend to be circulating. So my recommendation is, anywhere that you would think of using tea tree, even in skincare, give it a try. See how you like it. And I find it a lot less abrasive in terms of aroma and effect than tea tree. Citric acid, so that I got from Frontier Co-op, our mothership, but you can buy citric acid in any, typically any store. It probably would be in the cooking aisle maybe, but I think most stores will carry it. You can also order it online from Frontier Co-op. So how many years of schooling do you have to do to become an aromatherapist? That's a good question. So I started studying herbal medicine when I was about 12 years old. I had a whole experience with, I apologize, there's a motorcycle zooming down my street. I had a whole experience with stinging nettles, and it was really traumatic, and I never wanted to be in nature again. And then I, had a experience with burdock leaf that really helped manage the stinging nettles. And after that, I was like, what is this witchcraft? I need to learn herbal medicine. So I started studying then. I did a 3-year master's degree program in clinical herbal medicine, and then an additional, Elena, was our aromatherapy certification, was that 1 or 2 years? An additional 1 or 2 years of aromatherapeutic study. I didn't do clinical aromatherapy, but I did, with the American College of Healthcare Sciences aromatherapeutic schooling. Yeah, so I've been doing it for a while. But there's a lot of great courses out there in aromatherapy. I just recommend checking, reputable institutes. So I really like the American College of Healthcare Sciences, the School for Aromatic Studies. Those are all great places to learn aromatherapy. I don't recommend learning aromatherapy from like MLMs, multi-level marketing companies, and places that don't have accreditation, around education. All right. So any other follow-up questions that we didn't get to this evening, please feel free to contact myself. You have my email address to get the recipes this evening. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. And I really, really hope you'll join us in November for our class on making holiday gifts. We're going to do some really, really fun recipes then too. And thank you for spending some time with me this evening, sharing my passion, which is potions and plants. And that's exactly what we did. We made some awesome stuff this evening, and we will see you all next month. I hope you all have a great night, a wonderful Halloween, a wonderful Samhain, All Hallows Eve, however we want to celebrate and share it. And we will see you next month. Have a great night, everybody.